The first thing he saw was the glint of the fishing net, tangled like a web of despair around the dolphin's sleek gray body. Its cries, high-pitched and desperate, echoed through the water like a siren's song. Finn hesitated, his heart pounding against his ribs, a deep ache spreading through his chest. Could he free it in time? The net was tightening, dragging the creature toward the abyss. Finn had always been drawn to the ocean, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. His hands trembled as he reached out, the knife in his grip barely steady. The dolphin stilled, its dark, intelligent eyes locking with his as if it understood he was there to help. Cutting the net was harder than he anticipated. Each strand felt like it was alive, resisting him, as though it wanted to pull them both into the void. His lungs burned, screaming for air, but Finn couldn't leave. Not yet. When the final piece of the net floated away, the dolphin swam in a sudden burst of freedom, circling him, its joy palpable even beneath the waves. Back at the surface, Finn floated on his back, chest heaving. The dolphin surfaced beside him, nudging his shoulder gently, almost playfully. "You're welcome," Finn whispered, a laugh bubbling up despite his exhaustion. And that was how it all began. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Finn and the dolphin grew in ways he never imagined. The dolphin, which Finn had started calling Luna, began appearing almost daily near his favorite diving spot. At first, she lingered at a distance, playful but cautious. Over time, she grew bolder, swimming alongside him, sharing moments of curiosity as they explored the underwater world together. Finn had always thought of the ocean as a vast and indifferent wilderness. But with Luna, it felt alive, almost sentient. She seemed to guide him, nudging him toward hidden reefs teeming with life, or playfully tossing shells his way, as if inviting him into her world. Each dive became an adventure, a secret shared between man and dolphin. One afternoon, Finn took a break from his usual dives to lounge on the beach. His thoughts drifted as he watched the waves dance against the horizon. The peace was short-lived. A shriek of gulls broke the quiet, followed by an unnatural disturbance in the water. Finn sat upright, squinting into the sun. A dorsal fin sliced through the surface. A shark. His heart raced, but not out of fear for himself. Luna was out there. Grabbing his gear, Finn dove in without hesitation. The water was colder than usual, the currents more turbulent. As he swam closer, he spotted Luna, her movements frantic as the predator circled her. The shark's sleek body glinted menacingly in the filtered sunlight, a stark contrast to Luna's fluid grace. Finn's first instinct was to yell, to distract the shark somehow, but underwater, his voice was useless. He swam harder, his fins propelling him faster than he thought possible. Just as the shark closed in, Luna darted toward Finn, her movements deliberate, calculated. She placed herself between him and the predator, her sleek body a shield. Finn fumbled for the small dive knife strapped to his leg, though he knew it was a meager defense against such a powerful creature. Before he could act, Luna lunged at the shark, ramming it with her snout. The force was enough to send the predator veering off course, retreating into the depths. Finn's chest heaved, both from exertion and relief. As he surfaced, Luna was there, nudging him toward the shore. Blood swirled faintly in the water, and Finn realized it was his. The shark hadn't touched him, but his side was grazed, likely from the commotion. Luna stayed close, her presence both comforting and insistent, as if she understood the urgency. On the beach, Finn collapsed, clutching his side. A small crowd gathered, their concern evident, but it was the paramedics who took charge. One of them, a young nurse with kind eyes and a steady demeanor, helped him into the ambulance. Her name was Clara. Finn's recovery was slow but steady. The wound on his side, though not severe, served as a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the bond he shared with Luna. Clara visited often during his hospital stay, her curiosity about the incident leading to long conversations that stretched into the night. She listened intently as Finn recounted Luna's bravery, her eyes widening with a mix of disbelief and wonder. "You're telling me this dolphin saved you from a shark?" she asked one evening, her voice tinged with skepticism but also intrigue. "Not just saved me," Finn replied, his expression earnest. "She protected me. She knew what she was doing. Luna's not just any dolphin." Their talks soon shifted from the event to the ocean itself. Clara confessed she had always loved the sea, but had never dared to explore its depths. "It seems so endless," she admitted. "Beautiful, but terrifying." Finn saw an opportunity. Once discharged, he invited Clara to join him for a beginner's dive. "You don't have to go deep," he reassured her, "just enough to see the world you've only imagined." Clara hesitated, but eventually agreed. On a bright morning a few weeks later, she stood nervously on the deck of Finn's small boat, clad in a wetsuit that felt alien against her skin. Finn guided her through the basics, his patience easing her fears. When they finally plunged into the water, Clara gasped, not in fear, but in awe. The underwater world was unlike anything she had ever seen. Sunlight filtered through the surface, casting shimmering patterns over coral reefs teeming with life. Schools of fish darted around them, their colors vivid against the blue expanse. And then, as if sensing her presence, Luna appeared. The dolphin's approach was cautious at first, her eyes scanning Clara as if evaluating this new addition to their world. Finn extended a hand, and Clara followed suit. To her amazement, Luna swam closer, brushing against her gently. "She likes you," Finn said, his voice muffled through the regulator but warm with encouragement. Clara's initial apprehension melted away, replaced by a sense of connection she couldn't explain. Luna seemed to lead them through the water, guiding them to hidden nooks and vibrant coral gardens. When they surfaced, Clara's face was alight with exhilaration. "I get it now," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. This is incredible." From that day on, Clara became a regular part of Finn and Luna's underwater adventures. The trio formed an unlikely but harmonious team, exploring shipwrecks and vibrant reefs. Each dive brought new discoveries, but nothing could have prepared them for what lay ahead. It began on an ordinary day, their boat anchored near a familiar reef. Luna was more restless than usual, circling the boat and clicking insistently. Finn noticed her unusual behavior immediately. "She's trying to tell us something," he said, glancing at Clara. They followed Luna's lead, diving deeper than they usually dared. The water grew colder, the light dimmer. Luna swam with purpose, her movements confident as she led them toward an underwater cavern. Finn hesitated at the entrance. The opening was narrow, and the darkness within was foreboding. "Do you trust her?" Clara asked, her voice steady despite the tension. "With my life," Finn replied. Together, they followed Luna into the cavern. The initial darkness gave way to a faint, otherworldly glow. As they emerged into a spacious underwater grotto, their eyes widened in disbelief. Scattered across the floor of the cavern were objects unlike anything they had ever seen, artifacts that shimmered with a light that seemed to come from within. Some resembled tools, others intricate sculptures. The materials were unidentifiable, their surfaces smooth yet intricate, etched with patterns that seemed to shift when observed. In the center of the grotto stood a pedestal, its base adorned with luminous symbols that pulsed gently, as if alive. Finn and Clara exchanged a look, their breaths quickened despite the regulators. Luna hovered nearby, her movements calm but watchful. "What is this place?" Clara finally whispered. Finn shook his head, unable to find an answer. The air, or rather the water, felt charged, as if they had stepped into a place meant to remain hidden. Yet here they were, guided by a dolphin who would become so much more than just a companion. Clara reached out, her hand trembling slightly as she touched the edge of one of the shimmering artifacts.
The moment her fingers made contact, a gentle vibration rippled through the water around them. The symbols on the pedestal flickered brighter, casting the cavern in a soft, pulsating glow. Finn instinctively reached for her arm. "Wait, be careful," he said, his voice steady but filled with caution. Clara pulled away, her eyes wide. "I didn't mean to." "It's all right," Finn reassured her. His gaze returned to the pedestal, its symbols now glowing in a rhythmic pattern, as though responding to their presence. "I think it's reacting to us." Luna circled them slowly, clicking in a tone that Finn had come to associate with curiosity. She paused by the pedestal, nudging it gently with her nose. To their astonishment, the symbols began to shift, rearranging themselves into a sequence that resembled constellations. "It's like a map," Clara said, her voice tinged with wonder. Finn nodded, his mind racing. Or a message, but from who or what? Their air supplies were running low, a sobering reminder of their vulnerability. Reluctantly, they decided to surface, resolving to return with more preparation. Luna led them out of the grotto, her movements as fluid and purposeful as ever. On the boat, the weight of what they had discovered settled over them. Clara sat in silence, her hands wrapped around a steaming cup of tea. Finn paced the deck, his thoughts a whirlwind of excitement and unease. "What do we do now?" Clara finally asked, breaking the silence. "We go back," Finn said firmly. "With better equipment. We need to document this, figure out what it all means." "And if it's dangerous?" Clara's voice was soft but steady, her eyes meeting his. "We'll be careful," Finn replied, though he couldn't shake the sense that they had stumbled upon something far beyond their comprehension. Their next dive was meticulously planned. Equipped with advanced lighting and cameras, they descended once again into the mysterious cavern. Luna was waiting for them, her demeanor calm but alert. As they entered the grotto, the artifacts seemed to hum faintly, their light pulsating in sync with the rhythm of their breaths. The pedestal symbols reappeared, their shifting patterns more intricate than before. Finn began documenting everything, his camera capturing every detail. Clara focused on the pedestal, sketching the symbols in her waterproof notebook. Suddenly, Luna emitted a series of sharp clicks, drawing their attention. The dolphin was positioned near a wall of the grotto, her movements deliberate as she nudged a section of the rock. Finn swam closer, his flashlight revealing what appeared to be an engraved panel. The symbols of the panel glowed faintly, mirroring those on the pedestal. Clara joined him, her heart pounding. "It's another part of the message," she said, her voice filled with awe. Together, they studied the panel, their minds racing to decipher its meaning. The symbols seemed to tell a story, a depiction of beings who once thrived in the depths of the ocean, their lives intertwined with the world above. Finn's thoughts were interrupted by a sudden tremor. The cavern shuddered, loose sediment swirling in the water. Luna darted toward them, her clicks urgent. "We need to leave," Clara said, her voice tight with fear. Finn hesitated, torn between the allure of discovery and the instinct to retreat. Another tremor made the decision for him. Grabbing Clara's hand, he signaled for them to ascend. Luna guided them out of the grotto, her presence a reassuring constant. Back on the surface, the gravity of their discovery hit them. Finn and Clara spent hours poring over their footage and notes, piecing together fragments of the story etched into the artifacts. The tremors hinted at instability, a reminder of the ocean's unpredictable nature. As night fell, Finn stood on the deck, gazing out at the horizon. Clara joined him, her expression thoughtful. "Do you think they were like us?" she asked. "Maybe," Finn replied, "but whatever they were, they left something behind, something they wanted us to find. And Luna, she knew, she led us there." Clara's voice was filled with quiet wonder. Finn nodded, his gaze shifting to the water below. Luna surfaced briefly, her sleek form glistening in the moonlight. She lingered for a moment, as if to reassure them, before disappearing into the depths once more. As Finn and Clara stood in silence, the realization settled over them. Their journey was just beginning. Over the following weeks, Finn and Claire became consumed by their discovery. They spent every spare moment analyzing the symbols, consulting marine biologists, linguists, and even astrophysicists who specialized in deciphering unknown codes. Despite their efforts, the message remained elusive, its meaning just out of reach. Luna, ever the loyal guide, stayed close to their boat during their dives. Each time they returned to the grotto, she swam ahead as if ensuring their safety. Yet the tremors persisted, growing stronger with each visit. One morning, Finn awoke to find Clara hunched over her laptop, her face illuminated by the pale glow of the screen. She looked up, her eyes bright with excitement. "I think I found something," she said, beckoning him over. She had cross-referenced the symbols with ancient oceanographic charts and celestial maps, uncovering a pattern that aligned with known star systems. "It's a map," she explained, her voice trembling. "But not just any map. It points to somewhere deep in the Pacific, far beyond where we've explored." Finn stared at the screen, his pulse quickening. "Are you saying this could lead to more artifacts or something bigger?" Clara nodded. "It's possible, but we'll need to go further than we've ever been." The journey to the coordinates marked on Clara's map was treacherous. Strong currents and unpredictable weather tested their resolve. Still, keeping their eyes on the moon, they kept moving forward and finally made it. The water here was darker, heavier, as if shrouded in secrets. Finn and Clara prepared for their descent, double-checking their equipment. Luna clicked softly, her presence a source of comfort amidst the encroaching uncertainty. As they descended, the light from the surface faded, replaced by an eerie bioluminescent glow from creatures that seemed almost otherworldly. The walls of the chasm loomed above them, jagged and ominous. Suddenly, Luna lunged forward, her movements purposeful. Finn and Clara followed, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They came upon a massive structure built into the wall of the chasm, its surface smooth and metallic, reflecting their light like a mirror. This isn't natural," Clara whispered, her voice full of awe. Finn approached cautiously, running his hand over the surface. The material was cool to the touch, its texture unlike anything he'd encountered. Symbols similar to those in the grotto were etched into the surface, glowing faintly. "It's part of the same civilization," he said, his voice barely audible over the sound of his own heartbeat. Clara turned on her camera, capturing every detail. As she drew closer, a faint humming sound came from the structure, growing louder with each passing moment. The moon circled above them, clicking its teeth. Finn turned to Clara. "I think we're launching something." Before he could say anything else, the rumbling reached its limit. Part of the structure shifted, revealing an opening. The water swirled around them, as if inviting them to step inside. "Are we going in?" asked Clara, her voice trembling. Finn hesitated, glancing at Luna. The dolphin's calm demeanor inspired confidence, and her gaze was firm. "We've come this far," Finn said, taking Clara's hand. "Let's see where this goes." Inside, the structure was unlike anything they had imagined. The walls glowed softly, casting the interior in a soothing light. Intricate patterns flowed seamlessly across the surfaces, creating an almost hypnotic effect. As they ventured deeper, they found chambers filled with objects that defied explanation, floating orbs that pulsed with light, crystalline structures that emitted faint melodies, and panels displaying constellations that shifted and morphed. Luna swam ahead, her movements graceful and deliberate. She paused in a central chamber, where a pedestal similar to the one in the grotto stood. Finn and Clara approached cautiously, their breaths shallow. The pedestal activated as they neared, projecting a holographic display of symbols and images. It depicted a story of survival, a civilization that had thrived in harmony with the ocean, forced to retreat to the depths as the surface world changed. "They were protecting this," Clara said, her voice trembling. Finn nodded, his mind racing. "And Luna, she's been leading us here, like she knew all along." Before they could process what they were seeing, the structure shuddered. The hum grew louder, the lights flickering erratically. Luna emitted a series of sharp clicks, urging them to leave. "We've overstayed our welcome," Finn said, grabbing Clara's hand. As they climbed up, the structure began to collapse, the crevice filling with debris. Luna led them out, her sleek body cutting through the water with precision. When they finally surfaced, the sight of the open sky filled them with relief. Back on the boat, they watched as the ocean seemed to calm, the events of the dive leaving an indelible mark on their souls. "What now?" Clara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Finn looked at her, then at Luna, who surfaced nearby, her clicks soft and reassuring. "We share what we found," he said, "and we keep exploring. There's more out there, more than we ever imagined." Clara smiled, her hand finding his. Together, with Luna by their side, they gazed out at the horizon, ready to embrace whatever mysteries the ocean still held. The ocean, vast and enigmatic, remains one of Earth's greatest mysteries, a reminder of how little we truly understand about our planet's past and the secrets it holds. Finn, Clara, and Luna's journey was not just a discovery of artifacts, but a profound realization of the interconnectedness between humanity and the natural world. What they uncovered is a glimpse into a history we never imagined, a story preserved beneath the waves by an ancient civilization. It begs the question, how much more lies hidden, waiting for those with courage and curiosity to uncover it? As we continue to explore the depths, climb the heights, and venture into the unknown, one truth becomes increasingly clear. Earth is a living archive, holding answers to questions we've yet to ask. Its mysteries inspire us to keep searching, not just for the sake of knowledge, but to better understand our place in the vast timeline of existence and prepare for the futures yet to come. Like if you liked this story, subscribe to the channel. There will be a lot of interesting and mysterious.